Today, we are discussing one of the most critical concepts in psychology, the very blueprint of how you handle love, trust, and conflict, the attachment theory. This theory explains why some people glide easily into secure relationships, while others get caught up in cycles of anxiety, avoidance, or even volatility. The simple truth is this: your capacity for connection as an adult was wired into your nervous system during your early relationships with their primary caregivers. We are going to explore how this initial sense of childhood safety or lack thereof created a default operating system that dictates your adult attachment styles and how you can work to rewrite that code. The core of attachment theory is the concept of the internal working model. As a child, you subconsciously answered these two primary questions based on how your caregiver responded to your needs. Question number one: am I worthy of love and care? Your view of yourself. Question number two: are others reliable, safe, and available? Your view of everyone else. The answers to these questions became the filter through which you view every future intimate relationship. And your adult attachment style is simply that childhood survival strategy playing out on a bigger stage. Let's break down the 4 attachment styles. We are going to cover the secure style and the 3 insecure styles that most people operate from. So let's start with the secure attachment. This style develops when the caregiver is consistently available, responsive, and supportive. The child learns that when they cry, the parent comes and comforts them. When they are happy, their parent celebrates. They learn that they can explore the world, knowing that they have a safe base to return to. So how do they behave as adults? Securely attached individuals are comfortable with both intimacy and independence. They communicate their needs clearly, they trust easily, they are not afraid of conflict, and they can tolerate the natural ups and downs of a healthy relationship without panicking or withdrawing. Let's move to the insecure attachments. And in this, I'm going to start with the anxious attachment, which is aka fear of abandonment. So this style, which is also often called the preoccupied attachment, develops when the caregiver is inconsistently available. Sometimes they are warm and responsive, other times they are distracted, overwhelmed, and absent. The child learns that the only way to ensure connection is to turn up the volume. They become hypervigilant, constantly scanning the environment for signs of rejection and abandonment. So how do they behave as adults? Anxiously attached individuals seek extreme closeness. They may engage in pursuit behaviors like constantly seeking reassurance or extreme texting. They tend to be highly sensitive to their partner's mood and they worry intensely about the relationship ending. Their core fear is, if I'm not perfect, you will leave me. The next is the avoidant attachment, which is fear of engulfment. This style, which includes the dismissive avoidant attachment, develops when the caregiver is consistently unavailable, uncomfortable with emotion, and dismissive of the child's needs. The child learns that expressing their needs leads to disappointment and distance. To cope, they shut down their emotional systems and internalize the message, I do not need anyone, I can only rely on myself. So how do they behave as adults? Avoidant adults value independence above all else. They often use deactivating strategies when intimacy gets too close. For example, pulling away emotionally, focusing on their partner's minor flaws, or focusing excessively on work. Their core fear is, if I get too close, I will lose myself or be controlled. The last but not least is the disorganized attachment, which is the fear-wish cycle. This is the most complex style and it's often called the fearful avoidant attachment, and it develops in environments where the caregiver is both the source of comfort and fear, e.g. when there is abuse, parental substance abuse, unpredictable volatility. The child is caught up in an impossible double bind whereby their survival instincts tells them to seek their parent, but their protective instincts tells them to flee from the parent. So how do they behave as adults? Disorganized adults struggle the most with being caught between the desire for intimacy and their impulse to flee. They often push people away but then pull them back. Their relationships are often intense and volatile because their core belief is the person who loves me is the person who will hurt me. The good news is that these styles are not permanent sentences, and nobody is like 100% one attachment style. We all have traits of other attachment styles. It's in how we respond that makes a difference. You can achieve and secure attachment by simply showing up for yourself consistently in new, safe ways. The process of healing involves two main steps. Number one, identify your style and strategy. Recognize when the insecure attachment kicks in. For example, pursuit behaviors for anxious attachers, the sudden urge to flee for avoidance, and the push and pull cycle or pattern for disorganized. Don't judge yourself for it or beat up yourself for it. Simply label it. For instance, for anxious attachers, you could tell yourself, that's my anxious protector taking over, and then respond in a different way, in a secure way. Number two, reparent your internal working model. You must provide yourself with the safety that the child lacked. When the anxious part is screaming for reassurance, you, the adult, calmly tell yourself, I am safe right now, I can tolerate this uncertainty. When the avoidant part wants to flee, gently stay present and tell yourself, closeness is not entrapment. I can stay and still be myself. By understanding your attachment style, you stop blaming yourself and your partner and start treating the core emotional injury. You can consciously choose secure responses instead of defaulting to automated survival strategies.